Am I the asshole for not letting my fiancé's friend come to the wedding? My fiancé and I were planning our wedding and he passed over his guest list and a name stuck out to me. It was my middle school and high school bully. He throws spitballs at me and put rotting food in my desk so all the other kids would think it was me. He also had a shellfish allergy and could be around shellfish but not eat it. So he knew I heated up shellfish in the microwave and would stand in front of me not letting me get to the microwave, telling me I was making him sick, and then get all his friends to harass me. Even when I wasn't bringing shellfish he would tell me I had a fishy smell to me and even once called it a dirty Chinese smell. He also made the slanted eyes racist joke in front of me regularly. I told my fiancé this and made it clear there's no way I'm letting this guy come, and he defended him, basically saying everyone was an asshole in high school and we were adults now so I should forgive and forget. His friend was apparently a family friend's son, so if he wasn't coming neither were they. He then, without telling me, brought my bully to meet me one day and he apologized, claiming he didn't remember anything but apologized for anything he did to me. I told him to FCK off and to get off my lawn. My fiancé is furious with me for being rude to his friend and we had a screaming fight about it where he said he wasn't taking his friend off the list and I told him he can get married to him instead. Info. Why are you getting married to this guy? Not the asshole. The I don't remember got me. Invite him, serve shellfish. Not the asshole. Why is this bully so important to your fiancé? Please ask your fiancé this. Not the asshole. Why are you marrying a man who is willing to be friends with a racist bully? Everyone was an asshole in high school, WTF. Does your fiancé think all kids are naturally racist and torment people for no reason? I personally can forgive people who own their mistakes and change their way of thinking. However, for this guy to basically say, I'm gonna pretend I don't remember bullying you constantly for years on end, but sorry, is total BS. You don't just forget things like that. You shouldn't have to look at him on your wedding day and think of what he's done to you. Dump your fiancé. Not the asshole. Your wedding is the celebration of your union. Why on earth would your fiancé be so blasé about this dude being such a fucking asshole to you? Not the asshole and dump him. As somebody who has been bullied, just seeing my bully gives me major anxiety. Thinking they would be at my wedding would take away any joy from that day. The fact that your fiancé doesn't understand that shows how ignorant he is and how little empathy he has. Is that seriously a person you'd want to spend your life with? I personally would never forgive my partner for inviting a person who made my life hell to a day of happiness. Edit. Added something. Not the asshole. Why is he valuing having one specific family at his wedding over who he's actually marrying? Am I the asshole for refusing to do matching names with my future twins? I, 33 am a future parent to 2 twin boys. Me and my wife have recently been deciding names for our twins and my wife wants them to be matching. I said I don't like the idea. I have a twin sister who I matched everything with and it got so annoying to me. She says it's cute, but I told her for the sake of our kids let's not do the matching name thing and only make them match on things they both want. Matching Halloween costumes. My wife disagrees and my mill is saying I should, but my sister is agreeing with me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, but die on this hill. You and sis have first-hand knowledge. Your wife needs to defer. Not the asshole. Make your experiences known. It's not cute to be the one living with the lack of individuality. You are the one with actual experience being a twin. Your wife should listen to you on this one. Your mill does not get a vote, nor does your sister. Not the asshole. As someone who looks after children for work, I've seen so many poor children who have the shittest names because their parents clearly aren't thinking. Parents, it seems, don't think of the child when naming them, what they will have to go through for their unique name. I can't see a good side to having matching names, and when your wife says, it'll be cute, she's clearly not think her children will grow up one day and won't be little babies. Not the asshole. I have seen numerous twins while teaching. The ones that do the best are the ones who are treated as simply 2 siblings. Not made to be a set. Matched names ended up with one twin name Edward and his sister Edwina. Imagine Edward and Edwin both end up being called Eddie. Please explain to her your experiences and how it affected you. Not the asshole. My cousin has twin girls, she always made them super matchy. Matching names, clothes, hairstyles, etc. As they got older, one really started to push to be more individual and the other one really couldn't let go this idea of having to match. So as teenagers one would get a haircut, be super pleased to be individual, and then the other one would copy. It started to become a real issue. The individual one demanded to change schools. In the end, the twin who wanted to match had to get quite a lot of therapy. She really needed help developing an identity that wasn't centered on being a twin. They're in their 20s now and everything worked out fine in the end, but it was really rough for a while. Not the asshole. My husband was Donald and his twin was Ronald. If they were girls, they would have been Marilyn and Carolyn. We have other twins in the family and they have separate, not matching names. Not the asshole. Twins need to be treated as two individuals, not half of a matching set. From their names, their clothing, their activities, etc. They can have things the same sometimes, but they also need to be independent of each other. They will have a much better life if being a twin is part of their identity rather than their entire identity. Source: daughter of an identical twin and neighbor of identical twins. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker, praying makes me uncomfortable? I am kind of hoping people can let me know if I came across as an asshole. I was not raised religious. My parents had no interest in any spirituality. I tend to share the same belief. If there is something, I have no idea what it is, so I don't try to explain it. I am agnostic and do enjoy taking part in holiday celebrations, but I am not religious or spiritual. I usually keep my mouth shut when people talk about religion, as it saves me time and energy. I don't think anyone is bad for having a religion, I just have no interest in being convinced one way or another. The problem currently is my coworker, Eve, 40s. She was hired 2 months ago and is best friends with Mary Beth, 50s. They attend the same church, are very devout, and it was not really an issue. Until Eve started praying before we opened the store. Mary Beth and Eve would pray for a good day and I would stand there, without saying anything. It was a nice thought, I want to have a good day, and if it works, great. But I did not close my eyes or bow my head. Eventually, Eve asked if I wanted to pray on the door and I said no thanks, I think you do it best. She then started prodding me about what church I attend. I look young, but I am 32. So I think Eve might have thought I was still in college. When I explained I don't attend a church, she invited me to her Bible study. I said, no thanks. She wasn't pushy, but she has been bringing it up a few times. She said there are so many cute single guys at her church. She mentioned the trip they go on for the ladies every year. She talked about her sermon. This isn't me saying Christianity is bad. I don't want people to think I am kicking at religion. But it started to feel like Eve was hinting I needed to go to church. So I started stepping away from the door when Eve and Marybeth prayed or stayed in my car until they started unlocking the door. When Eve would start talking about her church, I would say, I bet Marybeth and you have good talks about that. She might be better suited for this type of talk. Eventually, it started to get a little more serious, with Eve asking if I was religious. I told her spirituality is such a private thing. She outright asked if I was Christian. I told her, finally, that no I was not. And I was really getting uncomfortable with how much she was focusing her church talk and prayers at me. I said I don't mind hearing about how much fun you had at events, but trying to change my beliefs is not gonna work. So please pick a new topic. Even talked to Marybeth, who told me she was disappointed I would tell Eve she was being a burden. I told Marybeth that I never brought up my lack of religion, but Eve kept pushing. So yes, it was a burden to me and I wanted them to go back to how it was before Eve found out. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I was ready to carry my pitchfork here, but it sounds like you've been very clear about your mindset. I don't blame you at all for snapping after the nth request. Not the asshole. Religion should not be brought up in the workplace. She can pray if she wants, but she should not rope you into anything you are uncomfortable with. Not the asshole. At this point, I would report it to HR if that is a possibility. Because your religion is none of their business, and all the church hints are not appropriate. Not the asshole. This is not work-appropriate behavior. If Eve or Marybeth start treating you differently, consider notifying our FYI. Although there's nothing wrong with what you said, you may be able to avoid conflicts with religious coworkers in the future by slightly revising your responses. Consider saying something like, I consider subjects of faith and religion to be private topics and am not comfortable having these kinds of discussions in a professional environment. Not the asshole. That is not appropriate workplace behavior. I'm sure they'd be easily made uncomfortable when confronted with questions about other faiths. Not the asshole. Is Marybeth your manager, store owner? Eve was making it weird, and you had every right to tell her to back off. If Marybeth is your manager, she should have backed you up and put a damper on this stuff a long time ago. NTA. Unfortunately, that happens with devoted people more often than not. Your coworkers are the asshole for not caring that religion doesn't belong in the workplace. They're lucky to have a coworker like you, and not a person who would have reported them to HR a long time ago. Am I the asshole for telling my husband exactly why I can't dance every night when I get home from work? Background. I, 35. Am married to my husband, 37, of 6 years and working mother, nurse, of 3 kids. We were at my in-laws' house for Thanksgiving dinner and every family member was able to make it. We were at dinner table when my brother-in-law started talking about his girlfriend's new fond hobby, which is dancing, and said she's been dancing for him every night after she gets back from her Zumba classes. The men in the family, clearly, got intested and they kept talking about it in details as me and other women were just rolling our eyes. My husband then and all of a sudden just threw his fork and looked at me and said, "Hey Jess. Fake name. Why can't you dance for me when you come home every night like Bill's girlfriend name does?" I was blown away by his question and really thought he was joking, but no. I looked around and saw everyone staring at me with my cousin-in-law sarcastically singing the "Dance Monkey" song. I flipped out and said, "I don't know. Maybe because when I get home I cook, then start my cleaning routine, then feed the kids dinner, then do the dishes, then get our 8-month-old to sleep, then clean the messy bathroom and bedroom, then suddenly fall asleep the minute I get in the bed from being exhausted from working on my feet all day long, then coming back to messy home and demanding kids and a husband. God, what a terrible wife I must be to not find time to dance." He froze in his place and the entire table got quiet. Then my SIL's jerk cop husband who hates my husband's guts started laughing, then said, "Good God. Guess turkey. I mean chickens really coming home to roost, huh?" My husband's face was so pale he just told everyone after noticing how awkward things got that he needed a minute outside. He got up and walked out and I followed him and he flipped out at me saying, "Great job making Thanksgiving awkward and embarrassing him in front of his family like that." An argument ensued and he said he wanted to leave after I caused him to be in an awkward position in front of family. We got home and he shut down completely. I stayed with the kids and couldn't sleep even after I called my his stepmom, saying good on me for calling him out as he stepped out of line, but she could be biased and she hates his guts too, and I just felt guilty when I think about what happened, thinking I mishandled the situation and ruined Thanksgiving for everyone. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your husband's poor joke led to a response he didn't like, and now he's butthurt. Not the asshole. He embarrassed you first by putting you on the spot publicly regarding your lack of interest in keeping him entertained. Joke or not, it was completely inappropriate. You might have answered differently, smile and say, "I wish I could, but I'm so tired from kids and work," which doesn't assign blame to him as a husband. But I understand your frustrated response. By the way, why does everyone seem to hate him? Not the asshole. Refusing to be a doormat doesn't make you an asshole. Have you considered why so many family members hate your husband? Not the asshole. So your husband basically tells everyone at Thanksgiving dinner that you aren't being sexy enough and dancing for him every night like his brother's new girlfriend. He was somehow embarrassed when you pointed out that you work all day and have to clean up all his messes and deal with the kids. Yes, he was embarrassed, because you pointed out that he was trying to embarrass you. Unfortunately, his stunt gave the other people who dislike him some ammunition, but that was not your doing. Not the asshole. I do not tolerate being compared to another woman. What she does is her business, just like what I do is my business. Your husband got put in his place, rightfully so, and deserved it. Not the asshole. Why isn't he getting buff and doing a routine for you? Or at the very least, helping around the house more by the sounds of it. Not the asshole. How infuriating and entitled. He put you on the spot and then got upset when you flipped the script. He wouldn't have anything to be embarrassed about and you wouldn't have had anything to complain about if he was pulling his weight as a father and husband. Hey, a white male 330 pounds 6 feet 5. Tell your husband I will dance for him for $50 an hour. I'm available most nights except for holidays. I'm not responsible for any furniture I may accidentally break because I have no idea how to dance.